Welcome to Fran Opps, powered by Business Alliance Incorporated. This is the podcast where entrepreneurs and business owners come to explore the world of franchising with clarity and confidence. Hosted by franchise consultant Jared Nassiff, we're here to help you discover the right franchise opportunities, avoid common pitfalls, and build a business you're proud of.
Welcome, everybody. Hey, elite entrepreneurs and empire builders. I am so pumped for today. I'm Jared, your host and CEO of Fran Opps, and this is the show where we connect you with vetted and qualified franchise brands and the faces behind them. So that way and our hope is for you to be able to franchise your future with confidence and clarity. That is what we do here. You would not, I can't encourage you enough. You would never set out, make a massive, huge life decision you've never have any experience about, you've never done anything in before, without asking for some guidance, some help. That's what we do as franchise consultants. So we help guide and consult, and it really helps set you up for long-term success in franchise ownership. Today, I'm excited to bring you an iconic name in the world of residential cleaning with the Maids. This brand was ranked number 34 in Entrepreneur's Top 500 list this past year. And that's what we've been doing this summer, is bringing you the best of the best brands that we work with that are inside of our portfolio of brands. And the Maids, is known for its strong recurring revenue model. We're going to talk about that, high client retention. And they've been around for over 40 years. They have strong brand strength, recession resistant, because they've been through it all. They've been through the pandemic. They've been through economic collapses. They've been through the turn of the millennia. They've been through all of it. And so you can rest assured you have confidence in this brand. And joining me today is none other than Cathy Skula, the CEO of the Maids, whose leadership and vision are taking this brand into the next stage of growth. We're going to unpack what that looks like, what that means. So for you right now, whether you are actively pursuing or exploring franchise opportunities, or you're just keeping an eye on the right fit, you're curious, for you, it's more of a dream, maybe sometime down the road. I can't encourage you. You don't want to miss this one. Hold on till the very end. This is going to be a good conversation. You're going to learn a lot of value. It's going to come in your way for free today. Enjoy it. So without further ado, let's franchise your future. This is Fran Opps Live. Cathy, welcome to the greatest group in the metaverse, as we like to say. It truly is an honor and a pleasure to have you here today. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Great to be here. I appreciate you having me, Jared. And hey, also great job singing our jingle there a little bit.
We need to come up with a dance. We need to create some kind of choreography for it. And that's going to go viral on TikTok for sure. Maybe that'll be the next interview we do, is coming up with something together. But Cathy, where are you coming from? Where are you joining us from today?
I'm joining you from my home in Frisco, Texas. And the Maids is located in Omaha, Nebraska, where it's been since it was founded in 1979. Great.
Yeah,
office.
Very familiar with that. That's awesome. Yeah, we're based out of Des Moines, Iowa, so not too far from Omaha either. Just a couple hours away. Very familiar with that. Love it. Love the Midwest roots there. It's great. It's great stuff. So I can't thank you enough for this. Just drove by the Maids location in Kansas City, and was super impressed by literally last weekend. Yeah. And I was very impressed with it. Just sharp. It's eye-catching, and you can tell there's a level of professionalism with this concept that you'd be surprised how many franchises out there just don't have. Yeah. And so I'm excited to dive into this opportunity for our audience, for our viewers and friends. As we go along, drop your questions in the chat. I'll make sure we get those. We bring those in to Cathy in real time. But Cathy, let's start with your story, how you got into franchising, and kind of we'll work toward how we got to where we are today as the CEO of such a prominent brand.
Yeah, I'd love to. But just real quick on the Kansas City location that you by, that's actually our largest single location to have that people work out of. I was just there about a month ago with our chief marketing officer, and it's a long time, really amazing franchisee group. They've been in the system for decades, and over 100 people working under one roof, and just a phenomenal operation there in Kansas City.
That makes sense, because I drove by, I was like, man, if every Maids is like this, like everyone needs, it was very impressive. Yeah. And I think that it clearly was like, this is what we're shooting for. This is what it should become. This is what you're going to work toward. So I love that. But yeah, that's very cool. That's neat.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So my story, I spent most of my career coming up through corporate operations. Started out in an entry-level position and just worked up and held multiple operations positions with a retailer for years and years. And I was an operator. That's what I did. I eventually became a vice president and had a section of the Northeast that I was responsible for. And one day they came to me that the company had a franchising subsidiary. And one day they came to me and said, "Hey, we think you'd be good at this franchising job." I originally said, "You're crazy. I'm an operator. I don't know anything about franchising. It's really foreign to me." And through conversations with leadership, I ultimately came to understand, and they convinced me that it was an opportunity to learn something new, to spread my wings into something different that I hadn't before. And it turned out to be the best decision I'd ever made in my life.
Yeah.
It was great. It gave me the opportunity to work with some really smart, hardworking franchisees. And what I didn't realize at the time were people that put it all on the line, their financial future, the kids' college.
Yeah, like the franchisee.
Yeah, the franchisees, right. And not that people in the corporate environment weren't dedicated and the employees there weren't dedicated, but it's just a different level of dedication when it's your business, your family's business.
100%.
It's a different mindset. I got into franchising and then never looked back. That was my path from there.
Yeah, I think there's, on that point, I think there's especially in corporate settings and individuals who typically are at a place where they can invest into a franchise, usually oftentimes coming from a pretty good job, like high paying position. And there's a massive level of comfort in that is hard to let go of.
Right. Exactly.
To jump ship. And as you said, put it all on the line. Like and there's a lot that fear creeps in, this idea of I'm going to release this W-2 and all the benefits that come with it to go and pursue my dream that will hopefully provide way more than what I'm doing for my family. I can build a legacy there. I can become boss of my own life, my own schedule, my own calendar, all those things. That's a big undertaking. They are putting, and to do that via franchising, we like to say it's going into business for yourself, not by yourself, which is true, but also to do that in franchising, from their perspective, they're putting a lot of trust in you as the brand that they are attaching this whole decision to.
Absolutely. And the people I think that are long-term successful in franchising, they never forget that. Sometimes you don't always agree on things, and then there's emotion, but you always have to remember that from the franchisee's perspective, it is all on the line. And we certainly have a high level of appreciation for it, because I was on the corporate side, and you're absolutely right. There is that comfort level of there's safety there, right? Even people are let go. There's still some safety there that's not there as a business owner, but the rewards are so much, the potential for rewards are so much better being in business yourself than they are in a corporate environment. So you trade one for the other.
Yeah, and you spot on when you mentioned that how much emotion is involved in this process, because I work with a lot of people that come in, every single one of them would tell you that they're wanting to make this decision, or they believe that they're making this decision completely objectively free from emotion, which is just not true. You can't detach our emotion. That's a part of us, ingrained in us in this decision. So the beauty of what I get to do as a consultant is to really be that emotionless third party objective voice in their corner to help them make decisions to really better their future, or for their future. Not that, and maybe you can speak to that from your side, because maybe I don't want to say that they're not going to get that from a franchisor, but also like franchisors, it's a business. You are trying to develop and grow and bring new franchisees on. And so I don't know if there's anything you wanted to add to that.
Yeah, no, as I said before, it's important that we always remember their perspective and where they're coming from. There is that fear when you first start out, that fear of where am I going to get customers? Where am I going to find employees? Can I find a lease somewhere, depending on what concept you have? And it's really, it starts with folks like you, and then ultimately becomes our job to address those fears one by one. But that's why you want to be part of a system. You can go out and be in the residential cleaning business by yourself, certainly. But if you join a company, the Maids or others in our space, we have a program for you that hopefully takes some of that fear away. That's the benefit of being part of a franchise.
Ooh, I like that thought of the system that is in place being viewed as an answer to people's fears. Usually I think when you think of system, you just think of I think of, hey, you're looking for something that you don't have to replicate. So I think oftentimes it's used as a selling point for individuals pursuing franchise ownership to say, look, you don't have to spend time replicating this. We've already had this proven system in place. But I think to maybe to change it and use it as a selling point to say, hey, I know you have a fear in this. This is what the system is for. You can trust it. You can rest in it, knowing this does produce results when you play the system the right way. I like that. I don't think I've ever connected that. So thank you for connecting that for me.
Certainly. Yeah.
That's great. So then tell me, so when you went from it wasn't the Maids that you were VP over, it was a different brand. So how did you get to the Maids then?
Yeah. So when I left that company 3 or 4 years ago, worked for a private equity firm for a little while, but still helping with their franchise portfolio companies. I was still in the franchising business. Yeah. And then that kind of was a little bit more corporate than I wanted. And I really wanted to get back to running a franchise company and didn't really know, was looking for the right opportunity. And the Maids found me through a recruiter and just through conversations about how long the brand had been around and the longevity of the franchisees, multi-generational franchisees that parents have already retired, passed it on to their kids, and some of them are grooming their kids to do the next level. And I just thought, if this concept, if this model, if this business is strong enough that people get into it, not only want to stay in it themselves for decades plus, but then they also want to pass it on to their children eventually. It's got to be a good model. It's got to be a good lifestyle. Right. Most importantly, it's got to be making them money, or they wouldn't want to pass along to their children. As long as everyone likes their children, you only want to give your kids something that you want them to be successful. Right. Yeah. So the Maids just appealed to me. And then as I came in and got to know the franchisees, it just reaffirmed what I already thought, that these just really sharp people and they work hard and they have successful businesses. And then eventually are able to retire and enjoy the fruits of their labor, and in a lot of cases pass it on to their kids.
Yeah. Has your leadership needed to change much from the role you were in, the VP role you were in, to what you're doing now as CEO? And if so, how has that style shifted?
Yeah, so the style, in my previous company, we had a lot of tenured franchisees as well. I think in a company where you have Maids is founded in 1979, there are people that have been multi-decades in this business. And in a system like that, franchisees don't just want you to tell them what to do, right? Sure. If you have a lot of newer folks, they do want that. What should I do? What should I do about this? What should I do about this? With tenured franchisees that have been successful, you have to take a different approach where you just collaborate more. And that's more the style that works, getting their feedback, working with franchise advisory councils, getting their input on projects, engaging them to work on projects when we're doing something different. So it's that collaboration, and also maybe an influencing element to it too, from a style, just trying to show people what's in it for them versus, again, in a corporate environment, you're really, if you're in some kind of a hierarchy and you're the top tenured person there, you're automatically the smartest person in the room. Where in a franchise environment, that's not the case. So you really have to tap into a more of an influencing skill set to show people like, hey, I think you should do this, and here's why I think it would be good for you. And it's my job to convince you of that. You may not get convinced, but it's my job to try and influence you to do this through data, through actual results, because I think it's going to make your business better.
Yeah, absolutely. And talk to me a little bit about what then maybe it was something about the Maids that either drew your eye, or what do you think what's different about the Maids? There's thousands and thousands of franchise opportunities that people can invest into and become owners with. What are the Maids doing differently that kind of sets them apart, especially in a space that has other competitive names that are well known too? We've had some other cleaning or janitorial service based brands in here in this group before, and we still have some yet to come later this summer. So what's different about what the Maids are doing?
Yeah. So to your point, there are lots of great companies out there that are in similar space. I think we're all providing an essential service first and foremost, whether it's because people want convenience and they want to spend more time with their family and less time cleaning their house. No one wants to clean their house. Or people forget that we also deal with a lot of people that have health issues and they need a higher level of cleaning in their homes. I really believe that the service residential cleaning just in general provides is a necessary one. And it's also cross-generational. It's not a fad. It's not something that, oh, the Gen Z folks are going to love this for a while, but it's not going to appeal to older folks or vice versa. This is something that it crosses over generations. But with us specifically, I think what we do exceptionally well at the Maids is we bring a level of technology to this business that people just don't think of. They don't associate technology with residential cleaning necessarily.
Yeah, it's true. I'm guilty of that.
Yeah.
So tell me about what that means.
Yeah, to really, as a franchisee, to maximize the efficiency of your team is the key to really making the most money that you can. You want, if you have a group of people, you want to keep them busy all day. You want them to go from one clean to the next and not have a lot of drive time, not have a lot of downtime in between.
Time is money. Yep.
Yeah. And when these locations are running multiple teams, especially you saw in Kansas City, 10, 12 different teams of people out there at the same time, you need technology to route those folks in the right way. You need technology to show. We have an app that's similar to Uber where you can actually see a little car driving towards your house if you're a customer. So you know when they're coming. And people, so when the cleaners get there, that they don't waste time because, oh, I didn't know you were coming. I didn't know you were on your way. I have to put the dog away, X, Y, and Z. They're ready for us. So I think we're very much a technology company that also is in the residential cleaning space. And I think that makes us unique. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So that's cool. I didn't know that so you have your own app then that does that same thing too. That's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, you don't think about technology again with cleaning.
Yeah, you really don't. That's very true. Now, what do you think most people misunderstand or don't see about what it takes to build a successful franchise system? And I love getting your perspective too, because to be fair, like how long have you been with the Maids now?
Since November, about 9 months.
Yeah. And they've been around for 40 years. So you weren't a part of building it, but you're the next chapter of building to the next stage. So what do people don't see or misunderstand about what it takes to really build a healthy franchise system?
Yeah, to build a system in general, I think it's understanding that balance of relationship, which is absolutely critical to have relationships, but also to protect the brand and the system, which ultimately protects everyone, including the franchisees. And so you have to have a good, open, honest relationship with franchisees, and also be able to say when things aren't going the way that they should. You know, if you spot key indicators in someone's business that are going the wrong way, that ultimately are going to take them in the wrong direction, you might have to have a conversation that, and tell them you're not necessarily doing things the way you should and show them why. So I think it takes that balance of relationship, but also making sure you're always protecting the system that everyone made this huge investment of their life savings, and in some cases, and certainly of their time. So it's balancing those two. I think one thing that's misunderstood about our company in particular, I think going back to your point about your question about what makes us special, I don't think people realize that the level of professionalism that our cleaners have. I think people have hired folks to clean their houses before, and there's a lot of folks out there that do it, but our teams are extensively trained, they're vetted, they're insured, they're going to show up dressed like the ladies that were in the video that you started this with a uniform on, and they're bringing that level of professionalism. We take very seriously the trust and confidence that people are putting in us, allowing us into their homes. Right. We do. We're not rotating. It's a
pretty intimate thing.
Yeah, we're not rotating tires here. We're letting people are going to someone's bathroom or their bedroom. So we always remember that.
Yeah. Yeah. And now, like you said, like every system that is an actual system that has been developed over time, any brand that is worth their salt, they're going to have in their system franchisees that are very successful, and they're going to have ones that have failed, that have not been successful. And they're going to have a bunch of people in between too, right? Anybody that's been around for quite some time, that is the case. That's reality. So a lot of times I get to people that get to the FTD, which we've talked about in this group on these interviews before, all the time. And then they kind of go, oh, but half the people are like the bottom 25 or the bottom 10% are doing like 30,000 a year. You can't live off this, blah, 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 whatever it might be. And I'm not saying that's the case at all for the Maids, but I'm saying every franchise has those kind of situations, those cases. What I want to know is, what are you seeing among your top performing franchisees? Some unique, what's the DNA? What are some of the elements of the DNA of the top performing franchisees in your system? Who thrives as a franchisee with the Maids?
Yeah, what I've been impressed by, so our most successful franchisees that I've seen are hyper focused on the culture of their locations, culture in their locations. And by that, I mean they're taking great care of their employees. So the employees in turn take great care of their customers. So it's not an easy job for the employees. They're out, they're cleaning homes all day long. So the franchisees that are really successful are creating this culture in their offices where I try to go when I visit, I go in maybe a half an hour earlier than they show up. I watch the folks show up, and they have coffee and breakfast for the employees, and they all sit and they chat together and have a sense of kind of a community or almost a family atmosphere. The Kansas City location that you talked about, when I was visiting them last month, they have a monthly meeting and I just happened to be there for it. And it's a husband and wife that own it, and the wife spent like the entire prior day making breakfast burritos and fruit salad and all these things for the teams, and actually served it to them for breakfast while they had a meeting. Now, and I said to them, like, now they could have bought all that, they could have had it catered, but the fact that they took the time and they made it and then they served it to them, and then they're recognizing anniversaries and people that have been with them for 5, 10, 20 years, and birthdays and people having babies, and just creating this really great culture that makes their employees happy and feel proud to be doing what they're doing, which then translates into just a great customer experience too. It's consistency. The same employees are coming into my house all the time. They feel ownership for the business, so they're doing a great job. So the most successful franchisees really understand that, and to the extent that they actually created, or was their idea to create, an employee assistance program that we have with the Maids called Maid to Care, which is basically if a maid has a hardship, the car breaks down, there's death in the family, something happens, there's a pool of money that we all donate to now and then that allows someone to apply for some help and get it pretty quickly. Driven by the franchisees, some of our larger franchisees. So what's in their DNA is just caring and the desire to help other people. So it's been really impressive.
Wow. Yeah. With no added benefit back to the franchise system as a whole. It's just, how do we care for the people that are part of our family? That's amazing. I have not heard of that. That's next level. A lot of things that like happen in life that insurance doesn't cover. Where do you go for help? Where do you go for aid? And man, to be able to trust and lean on the family of franchisees and franchisor, that's pretty special. I think that says a lot about the culture that has been created there within the Maids. For you, what's like the most, as a CEO, what's the thing you're most proud of? Have you had a moment or an experience yet that you're most proud of so far?
Yeah, so there are a lot of things to be proud of with the Maids currently, that being one of them, that weren't necessarily since I've started there. But I will say, so in general, my past CEO experience, I'm proud that I was able to build a team that ultimately grew the system from less than 200 locations to just over 500, while at the same time helping grow existing franchisee revenue, same store revenue, which is more important than growing new locations. So super proud of that. But now with where I am at the Maids, I feel like we now have that same team that I've built a team of functional expertise at our corporate office that can now facilitate hopefully that same type of growth at the Maids system, that both new franchisee growth and, again, more importantly, helping existing franchisees grow their existing businesses.
Yeah, that's good. What about the future? What's the future hold? What trends are you guys keeping an eye on? How do you feel like the franchising landscape or your industry in general, what do you see shifting and changing? AI, how is AI going to be impacting this space?
Lots of things, lots of trends we're watching. AI is definitely one of them. So AI is something that we're testing right now, again, in collaboration with the franchisees, to see how we can use it to reach even more reach customers when and where and how they want to be reached. As an example, people that want to schedule their cleans after hours when franchisees aren't around, and we have a call center, but it it's not running 24 hours a day. If someone decides at 2 o'clock in the morning that they want to talk to someone, that's where AI can be beneficial. I do think with AI, we all have to be cautious because there's so many flashy objects out there with AI, and every company in the world thinks they have an AI solution for you, and you really have to be careful not to chase too many shiny objects with AI. Really figure out what's the use case that you're looking for to help your brand, and then have a roadmap and just see, instead of trying to go all in with everything AI at one time.
Yeah, it's impossible to do that. Yeah.
And I think another one that's huge is everyone's watching how to acquire new customers. It's obviously mission critical part of any franchise system, and how we do that online just changes every day. And those are the types of trends that everyone should be watching. When you think about Google, what took 6 months ago, what it took to rank high in a Google search is completely different today. AI is part of that reason. Google's AI is part of that reason. And so there's just so much to keep up on. And I think that's one of the benefits of being part of a franchise system, because we, as an entrepreneur that just wants to get into a business, it would be close to impossible for you to watch those types of trends and react to them. We have a really competent CMO. He's a chief marketing officer. He's out there all the time, watching the trends, talking to other people doing what he's doing, and making sure what we're doing is we're following the right path, and we're giving franchisees good advice about what they should be doing too. But the online piece is definitely one we're all going to have to watch that forever.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, that's well said. Let's end with this. I want to be respectful of your time and our guest time as well, our audience time. Let's end with this. What's the last thing you would say? Why should someone looking to take control of their future consider a franchise brand like the Maids right now?
Yeah, I would say overall, I think this is a great time to become a business owner. Some of the reasons we talked about at the beginning, if you're someone coming out of corporate America, those challenges of layoffs, and you're in the office, you're out of the office, you're hybrid in the office, you don't really know what to expect there. You love your boss, you hate your boss. There's so many things that come with corporate America that are challenging, but owning a franchise business really gives you the control over your own destiny. And I think that's obviously everybody wants to have control over their own destiny. But again, most of all, because franchising it's life-changing as an entrepreneur. It's life-changing, not just for you, but it could be generationally life-changing, create generational wealth for your kids. Like I've mentioned before, if you get into a business and you're successful at it, ultimately could be creating your family business, at least the next generation, if not more than that. So there's just a lot of great things to push people in the direction of franchise ownership.
Yeah, that's so good. Cathy, I can't thank you enough for your time. You've answered all our questions today. This has been so great to hear some of your story, hear about the Maids story, and really where the Maids is going to and why individuals should consider being a part of this. So friends, if you are watching this right now, you're live, and or you're watching this later down the road somehow too, you can, and you want to learn more and see if, hey, your interest is excelled enough to go, hey, yeah, tell me a little bit more. What I want you to do right now is type in the chat the word Maids. Just type Maids in the chat right now, and we will reach out to you, and we'll drop you a DM. I'll send you a message, and we can get the initial part of the conversation, the exploration part of this going. Seeing a couple things. One, we'll talk about some of your experiences, backgrounds, qualifications, and we'll talk about territories. Even if there's even territory availability, that'll be one of the challenging parts with the Maids, with a company that's grown like they are, been around for so long too, is what that looks like. But reach out today, just type it in the Maids. Even if you're 6 months down the road watching this later on, type Maids right now. We'll reach out to you and to get a conversation going. While they're doing that, Cathy, once again, thank you so much for your time, your wisdom, sharing of yourself, and investing into this group this way. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, let's do it again sometime. Maybe I'll meet you over in Omaha, and we'll see headquarters and do some in-person content or something. That would be a lot of fun.
Sounds great. Thanks.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We'll see you again next time. Talk to you later.
If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with anyone who's ready to take that next step in franchise ownership. For more resources and personalized franchise guidance, visit us online at businessallianceinc.com. Let's help you franchise your future. See you next time.